I was looking for a job, something after school, and I intended to walk into this local pizza place to become a pizza delivery guy or something like that. But before I did, as I was walking down the street, there was an insurance place right next to the pizza place, and I saw in the window help wanted. And I thought, you know what? As a high schooler, why would an insurance place ever hire me? Because I still have this belief that high schoolers can only flip burgers and deliver pizzas and bag groceries. But I went in anyway, and I said, hey, I saw the thing in the window. I'd like to apply. So I did. I interviewed pretty well. I got the job. And I worked there for about 4 months, I think. And I was basically just like your typical office dude who filed things. And I did bookkeeping. I reconciled QuickBooks and went through the credit card statements and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of 4 months, the reason I left that job is because they fired me. So they fired me for 2 reasons. And this is like one of the big shames of my teenage years. One of the reasons, and this should be another lesson, was that I didn't really respect the culture in the company and my place in the company. Like I would kind of just like do things my own way, even if they didn't like it. And that was just like, I should have been more respectful. But the other reason they fired me was it was a small business. It was, a husband and wife owner and then maybe 3 other people. So she was there, like 2 desks over from me. It's not like this big company. And, if I would get stuck and I would be like, oh, I don't know how to process this credit card transaction, I don't know what category it goes in, I would immediately go ask her for help because I was super afraid of screwing up her books. But usually when she would show me what to do, it would be something that had I sat there and thought about it for maybe like 30 more seconds, I could have figured it out. So I was allowing my fear of messing something up to paralyze me and not only impede my own progress, but waste the time of the person who had hired me and who was currently spending her money to take all that stuff off of her plate in the first place.
Yeah.
So not only was I making her do the work that she was doing before she hired me, I was also wasting her time because now she's doing it slower because she had to explain to me how to do it over and over again. And I remember her telling me, like, Thomas, a lot of these things you could figure out if you just sat there and thought about it for maybe 10 minutes. I can't have my concentration broken. I'm doing my own work over here. So stop calling me over. So this is the thing, the 15-minute rule. When you get stuck on a problem, try to work on it for 15 more minutes. And while you're working on it for those 15 minutes, document the problem from the perspective of somebody else who's going to help you. So write down what you tried that didn't work. Write down exactly where you're stuck. Then go get help if you can't solve it after 15 more minutes. Because you don't want to be wasting your entire day stuck on something.
Yeah.
It's a balance again. But when you do this, number one, you are getting past that initial paralysis, that initial fear of screwing something up, and you may solve the problem. And you're also looking at it from a different perspective, which will also potentially help you solve the problem. And you won't waste the time and incur the wrath of the employer who will eventually fire you and make you feel like your life is over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Footnote, my life was not over. I actually ended up not dying that day, but it was pretty awful getting fired.
Well, now that I know that there's that black mark on your resume, I'm going to have to let you go from the College Info Geek podcast.
Dang it. Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Actually, because that happened, every video I've ever made, every podcast I've ever been a part of, it's all actually wrong.
Yeah, so this is a coup. This is mine now. Done.